Now had I left those spirits, and pursued the steps of my conductor, when beheld pointing the finger at me one exclaimed, "See how it seems as if the light not shone from the left hand of him beneath, and he, as living, seems to be led on." Mine eyes I at that sound reverting, saw them gaze through wonder first at me, and then at me and the light broken underneath, by turns. "Why are thy thoughts thus riveted," my guide exclaimed, "that thou hast slacked thy pace? Or how imports it thee, what thing is whispered here? Come after me, and to their babblings leave the crowd. Be as a tower, that, firmly set, shakes not its top for any blast that blows. He, in whose bosom thought on thought shoots out, still of his aim is wide, in that the one sicklies and wastes to not the other's strength." What other could I answer save I come? I said it, somewhat with that colour tinged which ofttimes pardon meriteth for man. Meanwhile traverse along the hill there came, a little way before us, some who sang the Miserere in responsive strains. When they perceived that through my body I gave way not for the race to pass, their song straight to a long and hoarse exclaim they chimed, and two of them, in guise of messengers, ran on to meet us, and inquiring asked, "Of your condition we would gladly learn." To them my guide: "Ye may return, and bear tidings to them who sent you, that his frame is real flesh. If, as I deem, to view his shade they poust, enough is answered them. Him let them honor, they may prize him well. Ne'er saw I fiery vapors with such speed cut through the serene air at fall of night, nor August's clouds athwart the setting sun, that upward these did not in shorter space return, and, their arriving, with the rest will back on us, as with loose rain a troop." "Many," exclaimed the bard, "are these, who throng around us, to petition thee they come. Go therefore on, and listen as thou goest. O Spirit, who goest on to blessedness with the same limbs that clad thee at thy birth. Shouting they came, a little rest thy step. Look if thou anyone amongst our tribe hast e'er beheld, that tidings of him there thou mayst report. Ah, wherefore goest thou on? Ah, wherefore tarriest thou not? We all by violence died, and to our latest hour were sinners, but then warned by light from heaven, so that, repenting and forgiving, we did issue out of life at peace with God, who with desire to see him fills our heart. Then the visages of all I skin yet none of ye remember. But if aught that I can do may please you, gentle spirits, speak, and I will perform it, by that peace, which on the steps of guide so excellent following from world to world intent I seek." In answer he began, "None here distrusts thy kindness, though not promised with an oath, so as the will fail not for want of power. Whence I, whose soul before the others speak, entreat thee, if thou ever see that land, which lies between Romagna and the realm of Charles, that of thy courtesy thou pray those who inhabit Fano, that for me their adorations duly be put up, by which I may purge off my grievous sins. From thence I came. But the deep passages, whence issued out the blood wherein I dwelt, upon my bosom and Antenor's land were made, where to be more secure I thought. The author of the deed was Este's prince, who, more than right could warrant, with his wrath pursued me. Had I towards Mira fled, when overte and at Oriaco, still might I have breathed. But to the marsh I sped, and in the mire and rushes tangled there fell, and beheld my lifeblood float the plain. Then said another, Ah! So may the wish, that takes thee o'er the mountain, be fulfilled, as thou shalt graciously give aid to mine. Of Montefeltro I, Buoncani, Giovanna nor none else have care for me, sorrowing with these I therefore go. I thus, from Campaldino's field what force or chance drew thee, that ne'er thy sepulture was known? Oh, answered he, at Casentino's foot a stream there courseth, named Archiano, sprung in Apennine above the hermit's seat. E'en where its name is cancelled, there came I, pierced in the heart, fleeing away on foot, and bloodying the plain. Here sight and speech failed me, and finishing with Mary's name I fell, and tenantless my flesh remained. I will report the truth, which thou again tell to the living. Me God's angel took, whilst he of hell exclaimed, O thou from heaven! Say wherefore hast thou robbed me? Thou of him th eternal portion bearst with thee away for one poor tear that he deprives me of. But of the other rule I make. Thou knowest how in the atmosphere collects that vapor dank, returning into water, soon as it mounts where cold condenses it. That evil will, which in his intellect still follows evil, came, and riced the wind and smoky mist, by virtue of the power given by his nature. Thence the valley, soon as day was spent, he covered o'er with cloud from Prata Magno to the mountain range, and stretched the sky above, so that the air impregnate shone to water. Fell the rain, and to the fosses came all that the land contained not, and, as mightiest streams are wont, to the great river with such headlong sweep rushed, that not stayed its course. My stiffened frame laid at his mouth the fell Archiano found, and dashed it into Arno, from my breast loosening the cross, that of myself I made when overcome with pain. He hurled me on, along the banks and bottom of his course, then in his muddy spoils encircling wrapped. Ah! When now to the world shalt be returned, and rested after thy long road, so spake next the third spirit, then remember me. I once was Pia. Siena gave me life, Maremma took it from me. That he knows, whom he with jeweled ring had first espoused.